Hey everyone, this is John, and welcome back to Speak English with Power. It's really good to have you here again. I know you've been listening, learning, and growing with every episode, and that already makes you different from the average learner. Because you're not just studying English, you're training yourself to live in English, and that takes courage. Today, we're going to talk about something very special, something that can change the way you speak forever. We're going to talk about confidence, how to become a confident English speaker. And before we begin, I want you to know this. Confidence is not something you're born with. It's something you build. It's something you grow, one small step at a time. When people hear the word confidence, they often imagine someone standing tall, smiling, speaking loudly, never making mistakes. But that's not real confidence. Real confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about being comfortable with imperfection. It's about speaking even when you're nervous and trusting yourself even when you make mistakes. That's the kind of confidence I want to help you build today. Let's be honest, almost every English learner has felt afraid to speak. Maybe you've studied for years, maybe you understand a lot, but when it's time to talk, your voice becomes small. Your mind goes blank, your heart beats faster, and you think, what if I say it wrong? What if they don't understand me? Does that sound familiar? If yes, I want you to take a deep breath. Because that fear doesn't mean you're bad at English. It simply means you care. You care about doing it right, and that's actually a beautiful thing. But here's the truth. Fear will never disappear completely. Even native speakers feel nervous sometimes. So what can you do? You learn to speak with fear, not without it. You learn to control your thoughts and turn fear into focus. I often ask my students, what scares you most about speaking English? Some say, I don't want to sound stupid. Others say, I'm afraid people will laugh at my accent. And I always tell them the same thing. Confidence doesn't come when people stop judging you. It comes when you stop judging yourself. You see, your confidence doesn't depend on what others think. It depends on how you talk to yourself. If you say, my English is terrible, your brain believes it. If you say, I'm learning, I'm improving, your brain believes that too. So the question is, what kind of story are you telling yourself? When I was learning Spanish, I made a lot of mistakes. I remember one time I wanted to say, I'm excited, but I used the wrong word, and I actually said something very funny. Everyone laughed, and for a moment I felt embarrassed. But then I laughed too, and that moment taught me something powerful. Confidence is not about avoiding mistakes. It's about recovering from them with a smile. So if you make a mistake, don't say, oh no. Say, great, I just learned something new. That's how you grow. Every mistake is a teacher, and every time you speak, you get stronger. Now, you might be wondering, John, how can I actually build my confidence? And I'd say the same way you build a muscle, with practice and patience. Confidence grows when you use English every day, even a little. Talk to yourself in English. Repeat what you hear in this podcast. Sing along with English songs. Describe your day, your feelings, your plans in English. Every small moment you speak, your brain learns that English is safe. And when it feels safe, you'll speak naturally. You don't need to speak fast, you don't need to sound like a native speaker. You just need to speak with honesty and calm. When you stop trying to impress others, your real confidence begins. Let me ask you something. When you speak in your own language, do you think about grammar? Do you plan every sentence in your head? Of course not. You just speak. You trust yourself. That's what confidence feels like. And you can have the same feeling in English if you give yourself permission to speak freely. Sometimes people say, "I'll speak when my English is perfect." But perfection never comes. The only way to speak better is to speak now, even imperfectly. Confidence is not the result of success. It's the path to success. You gain it by doing, not by waiting. When you train your brain to speak often, you also train your emotions. Your fear becomes smaller, your voice becomes stronger, and your heart becomes calmer. One day you'll realize that the fear you had before isn't gone, it's just quiet now. And in its place, you'll find peace. Let's try something right now. Wherever you are, repeat after me, quietly or out loud. I can speak English. Say it again. I can speak English. Now, one more time with a smile. I can speak English confidently. You see, the words you speak create the world you live in. When you tell your brain what's possible, it starts believing you. So keep telling yourself that you can, because you really can. Another thing that helps a lot is connection. Confidence grows when you connect with others. Join conversations, online groups, or language partners. Don't focus on being perfect, focus on sharing ideas. Because confidence is not about showing off, it's about connecting. The more you connect, the easier speaking becomes. And remember, it's okay to take small steps. You don't need to give a speech today. Start with one sentence, then two, then a short conversation. Every step is progress. Confidence doesn't appear suddenly. It grows quietly, like a seed turning into a tree. Water it with practice, sunlight of positivity, and patience, and it will grow strong. So today, I want you to make a promise to yourself. Say, I will speak even if I'm afraid. Say, I will believe in myself, even if I make mistakes. Say, I will keep going because I'm improving every day. That's confidence. That's strength. That's power. And if you ever feel nervous again, remember this. Every confident speaker you admire once felt exactly like you. They weren't born confident, they became confident. Through time, practice, and self-kindness, you will too. Thank you so much for listening today. You're doing something incredible, learning a new language, training your brain, and becoming stronger with every word. Be proud of yourself, and remember, don't just learn English. Speak English with power.